Yep.
Welcome to New Beginnings Church. Thank you for watching. Hit share, hit like, participate in the service. We usually have 300-400 viewers, and I only know about 10 of you that watch. So if you're watching, let us know so I know where we're reaching. If you want to, put in the comments where you're from. That's also very interesting to see where the viewers are. But I've been here a little over a year now. We've ministered 56 messages titled Around the Message of Faith. But I don't think I've ever preached that we didn't preach about faith. But when I started, God gave me a lot of prophetic words. Some of you that was here at the beginning, you'll remember, don't cut your boards too short. Can't build nothing on it. Or birds ain't no good at farming. Well, today is kind of a step back to the beginnings. It's a prophetic word. Look at your neighbor and say, everything turns.
Everything turns
On a dime.
on a dime.
Look at your other neighbor and tell them everything turns on a dime. Yeah, we're still in our series, Faith for Money. We will be reading from the book of Malachi, but I'm going to talk a little bit first about how this thought come up and where I heard God. But my buddy Scotty, for about 2 months, or maybe longer, been sending me boat pictures. And that's what the process me and him does when we start really believing God for a boat. We get pictures of it and develop the image inside of us of what we want. And he's sending pictures and sending pictures, and then he starts asking for pictures of my boat. And the day I was blessed to buy that boat, Scotty met me at the dealership. We've never been in competition. Every time God's ever did anything for Scotty, it's been a moment that I can't hardly say it without tearing up on you. But it's a covenant to where I truly rejoice when God blesses him.
Praise God.
Every boat I've bought, Scotty beats me to the dealership. And he's standing there in tears that I'm blessed. And I don't know, a week or two ago, I woke up one morning and Scotty's asking me about my boat, a boat he's been around. He was there when I picked it up, and I told Scotty, one thing you'll like about them boats is they turn on a dime. That's a common thing. People says that about their race cars, but when I said it, and it's took me 2 weeks to get to where I can minister it, and it's hard right now. It's so strong on me, I'm about to tear up. But I said, Scotty, you'll love them boats in a curve. They turn on a dime. And I heard the voice of God say, and everything in life turns on a dime.
Amen.
If you've got situations that you need turned around and they've not moved and they've not improved and nothing has changed, we long for those services to where everybody in the building experiences a turnaround.
Yes. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus.
Luke, the 18th chapter, tells us about a little lady, and it's a parable. And I told you, 16 of the 30-some parables that Jesus talked about was about money. This little lady, it says, she comes to an unjust judge. He didn't fear God. He didn't regard man. And she's trying to get him to turn her adversary. I came today to tell you that a lot of you don't realize that you are engaged in a conflict. You are in a warfare, and if you don't turn your situation, God ain't going to turn it for you.
That's right, that's right.
All of this stuff, God is in control. God knows everything. If God is in control, this world's in a great big mess.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he did put it that way. Right.
But to listen, He's a sovereign God, Brother Todd. He knows, yes, He does know that it's going on, but it's almost like God sits in hiding and waits until somebody prays, and just praying won't do it. There's
Yes.
the religions we're opposed against,
Thank you, Lord. We thank you, Jesus, for the word, Lord.
their holiness standards
Oh, yes, they are.
are tougher than the Pentecostal holiness church. Them women, only thing you see on them's their eyes.
That's right. Amen. Right.
So if a holiness standard moved God, they wouldn't nobody touch the strict Muslims.
That's right. Amen.
You don't see her ankles.
That's right.
See nothing.
You see her peepers.
Yeah, yeah.
And praying
That's right.
almost caused a riot at the Marion County Adjustment Center prison. That was an exciting prison. Chaplain Browning pastored them inmates, and he was a fire-filled faith believer. And you preach deep stuff in there, but you can't preach to the church. Because all them boys did all day long was pray. I mean, there was revelation that I've never been able to share with my buddies, and I'd step in the pulpit and God would say, preach out here. But it almost caused a riot. I don't know how many of you know it, but I drank a lot of water when I preached.
Yeah.
Well, I was blessed at Marion County. I could go in on Friday, do a Friday night service, Saturday morning, Saturday evening, Sunday morning, Sunday night. And I got in trouble. I had a cup sitting on the stage, and I wanted my water, but I would do this. Take a drink, set my cup down, there was an inmate jump up with a big old pitcher. Come up and put my drink back in that cup. Well, I drink a lot. I'm trying to preach and I'm drinking. Set my cup down, that inmate gets that pitcher of ice water, gets back up, pours it in my cup. And it's frustrating. It's aggravating my preaching. I finally tell him, brother, I'll tell you when I need a drink. Boy, I grieved God. Instantly, I knew I'd done something wrong. Chaplain come to me and said, don't you ever do that again in my church. He said, the only offering these inmates can give you is a cold drink of water. They don't have any money.
Yeah.
They're not allowed to give you stamps.
Yeah.
He said, but they can give you a drink.
Yeah.
And them boys was honored. Well, I'm tore up.
Right.
I'm in trouble with God. I'm repenting. But I drank so much water, I'm about to pee bad. So I'm making my way to the bathroom, and I ask the inmates where the restroom's at, and they tell me that door, they meant this door. I stepped in a Muslim sanctuary in that prison. There's a big protocol for going into their churches. You're supposed to face toward the east and take your shoes off. And I went in unzipping my fly. Not where you want to do it, in a penitentiary, in a Muslim mosque. And here I am, and I look, and all them dudes has got them little coffee cups on their head. I almost started a riot.
Yeah.
But I found out them Muslims pray all day. Dedicated. Call a prayer meeting in a Pentecostal church. Well, one of two things. Have a singing in a Pentecostal church, and everybody in 10 neighborhoods shows up.
Yeah.
People that ain't been into church since Easter, they're back in there again. But you have a prayer meeting.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah,
Pastor shows up, most churches.
yeah.
And when the Pentecostals do show up, they don't pray. They have prophesying meetings. To where Sister so-and-so feels led to bring Sister so. When the pastor calls a prayer meeting, you enter into that to pray, but every one of them I've been to,
Yeah.
Sister so-and-so feels led to bring Brother so-and-so up, and all of us lay hands on him.
Yeah, yeah.
There's keys in life, though, and if you've attended this church any amount of time in the Word and the words of your mouth are huge keys.
Yes.
Take his water. There's another. That lady, she came to that unjust judge and said, avenge me. It's in Luke 18, 1 through 8. Avenge me of my adversary. I want to know in the modern church why we don't take that attitude. Anytime sickness comes at you, you should be running to the judge of the universe and telling him, avenge me, my adversary's messing with me.
Amen. Yes.
But it says, he would not for a while. And we try to think God's that way. When we go to God and believe that we receive this, we think He wants to make us wait. And I've heard preachers use that story in Luke 18, that the judge sometimes will not move for you for a while, but it says He is an unjust judge.
Yeah.
There ain't anything about God that ain't just.
That's right.
Let me go back. We'll go back to Malachi. Luke 18. Verse 2, there was in a city a judge which feared not God, neither regarded man, and there was a widow in that city. And she came unto him, saying, avenge me of mine adversary. And he would not for a while. But afterward he said within himself, though I fear not God, nor regard man, yet because this widow troubleth me, I will avenge her, lest by her continual coming she weary me. We've tried to put that off on God, and we even take the verse, knock and the door will be open, seek and you'll find.
Yeah.
And we'll preach it. You got to knock and keep on knocking. Seek and keep on seeking. Well, there's some truth to that, but the way we preach it is we're trying to make people think that God is going to make you wait. Years I didn't understand this story. That's what it looks like. And the judge thinks, I'm not afraid of God, and I'm such a judge, I don't fear any man, but I can tell you, this widow is going to wear me out coming to me over her adversary, so I'm going to give her victory, or she ain't going to quit. And it preaches beautifully. We need to be people that don't give up, that don't cave in, that don't quit, that keeps on keeping on. But that does not represent God. It's an unjust judge.
That's right.
A man that don't care about God and he don't care about people, and the only reason he's doing anything for this woman is because she is going to aggravate the daylights out of him. Verse 7, and shall, well, I'll go back up to verse 5. Because this widow troubleth me, I will avenge her, lest by her continual coming she weary me. And the Lord said, hear what the unjust judge saith. So we're supposed to hear that. I'm going to avenge her because she keeps on. But then listen to what Jesus said. And shall not God avenge his own elect, which cry day and night unto him, though he bear along with them? ? Sounds like that's preaching the same thing. God's going to avenge his own elect. He's going to bear with them that cry day and night. That sounds like you're going to wait a while. Day and night crying. But he put a question mark on there. Though he bear along with them. See, the way that's supposed to be read is like, if he's bearing along with you, something ain't right. Now prove it. Next verse. Though he bear along with them, ? This is Jesus' opinion. I tell you that he will avenge them speedily.
That's good.
We miss that part.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he's telling us there's a lady in a city that's needing help from a crooked, unjust judge, but she's very persistent and won't give up. And that judge figures out she ain't going to quit. She's going to wear me out. I'm going to avenge her because of her continual coming. And then Jesus says, is God not better than that judge? Do you think he's going to bear along with you day and night? No, I tell you that the just God is going to avenge you speedily.
Amen.
What are you saying? It's time for quick manifestations.
Yes.
Speedily.
Thank you, Lord.
Can you see that in that verse?
Yeah, good. Yeah.
God's not going to make you wait, is what he's saying, like an unjust judge. When you have an adversary, God is going to remove that adversary quickly.
Amen.
Good, good. Thank
Yes.
you, Lord.
Acceleration.
Yeah.
Or what I'm telling Scotty about a boat. If you've ever rode in a boat, you'll understand that. You can get good speed in a boat, and you take a curve. A lot of boats, the hind end of that boat will keep scooting around the curve and just about turn you back the direction you was going if you don't let off the gas. They turn around the wrong way. But what I told Scotty is them boats we got, they turn on a dime.
It don't happen. Yeah.
Quick. I came today to tell you that right now I am announcing to New Beginnings Church, to the mountains of Eastern Kentucky, to my viewers and my partners, it is a day for a quick turnaround.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
Woo! Accelerated!
Yes. Amen.
I like it when the vengeance of God shows up on my behalf quickly.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Amen. Amen.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Jesus. You've got 4 letters.
But why do we as believers wait? We get stuck on verses and take them out of context.
Yeah. Amen.
They that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength.
Yeah.
Mount up with wings like as of eagles. But it says they'll run and not be weary. They'll walk and not faint. We use that to say you got to wait a long time. When the whole verse is talking about once you get a mindset of waiting on God, you're going to fly. You're going to soar. I ain't seen no eagle
Yeah.
just slowly looking over a field.
That's right.
What's that eagle doing? He's waiting on a mouse. Wow, these eagles at Car Fork, I've been fishing, and all of a sudden I thought maybe Iraq had got a plane and started bombing us. 'Cause
Yeah.
all of a sudden something dived in the water, and I found out real quick it's a better fisherman than I am.
Yeah.
It's time for quick.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Father.
Yes,
We
yes.
spent 56 messages that were completely focused on faith, and every one of them faith has been taught here.
Yeah.
It's time.
It's time.
Yes, yes, thank you, Lord.
We've built a strong foundation on the principles of faith, but it's time now that things turn around.
Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Lord.
We're in the days of like Haman and Malachi, Mordecai. Some rednecks say Mordecai. I don't really know how you say it.
Now every denomination.
But one of them decided he's going to build a hanging noose to kill the other, and I can tell you that part. I might not say their names right, but he got the hanging noose built, and about the time he built it, he's going to try to kill God's man.
Yep.
And the feller that built the hanging noose ends up hanging on it.
That's right.
That's a turnaround.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's what we need.
Yeah.
Turn around. If you're broke today, what you need is a financial turnaround. If you're sick today, all you need is a turnaround.
Amen. Amen.
Hallelujah!
Hallelujah.
That woman kept saying, avenge me, avenge me, avenge me, and wore him out to where he's going to do it just to shut her up. But you've got a God that don't want to hush you up. He just wants you to say, Lord, I've got an adversary. And Jesus said, quickly.
Yes,
Amen.
yes, amen.
Don't take care of it, Jesus. Yeah, praise the Lord.
I can tell you what that's like with my little
Thank
mama.
you, Jesus.
Bunch of boys. We had
Jesus.
old wrecked cars we played in. We'd shoot them. Old timers had told us the 357 Magnum would shoot through back then the motor of a car. Well, we found out. A 44 Magnum will. A 357 Magnum will bust it, but... And you know how in TV shows these cops hide behind the fenders? Don't do that.
Wow.
Don't do that if you're gonna shoot out. Don't.
No.
Get up there around that motor.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Because we shot through a lot of fenders. And you ain't gonna survive if that's where you hide now.
That's right.
A bunch of boys decided that they'd start writing bad things about each other on that. Started out like, well, let's just use me, which I wasn't the first to know it, but I was the last. Todd's a girl. And then it went to Todd's a queer. Then it went to Todd likes men. And then it went to things I can't say in church. And it finally did reach my name. Now it's full of every boy in the holler, but I'm going by and I see, well, all this stuff that I knew the fellas doing. Wrote about me. Well, my dad had a tractor that I was allowed to drive. And he had paint. He had a big contraption on the back of that tractor that we'd spray our log cabins with. That I thought, well, I can paint a car to swipe for that thing. I go up there with the intention of covering up the bad words said about me, and I realized it'd be fun to squash this car with this tractor. So I do. I push the car in the creek, I paint it, and the three fellers that wrote something about me decided I had messed up their artwork, and they gonna whoop me. And you hear that redneck comedian got thrown out of the bar. He said he didn't know how many it took to get him out of the bar, but he knew how many they was going to use. I don't know how many holler boys it would have took to whoop me, but I know how many they's gonna use. There's 3 of them and 2 of their friends. I figured out real fast I could probably handle 2 of these fellas. And I really thought, I can make 3 of them nowadays in a fight. But I had that attitude. You might whoop me, but tomorrow morning, you gonna know you was in a fight. And I had in my head, I can make 3 of these fellas. No, I can't handle 5. I better go to the house.
They're going down.
I go back to my house and the 5 boys decide they're gonna follow me, and I thought, well, I ain't gonna get out of this. I'm gonna make these 3 fellers know they's in a fight, and I square off on them and come on, hit me. Ain't nobody moved. I got 5 adversaries there, and I am now calling them what they wrote about me on the car. I'm putting my nose, doing all the things you don't do to a redneck, my nose on their nose and saying, go ahead, y'all start it. I don't start fights, I finish them. Hit me. They ain't moving. I look around. There stands my little mommy with a stick. Quickly! Yeah, I had 5 adversaries, but my protection showed up with a stick, and there was nobody willing to get in this confrontation once my protection showed up. And I came today to tell you, in your fight, God wants to show up with a stick.
Yes, Lord.
Oh, he wants to. He wants to stand behind you as you face your adversaries, and you're telling your adversaries off, and he's standing back there like, you better, that's my boy. You better not twitch.
They're not blinking out.
I ain't nobody yours, mommy, but him. I'll put every one of you in the hospital. I want you to know I'm bold at that moment.
Yeah.
I don't know if you boys noticed, but one of the things, Mom had a 38 hid somewhere on her. So I knew if that stick don't work, she gets that pistol out, she's liable to shoot me. But there'd be somebody shot. We need to be that confident that no matter what stands before me, there is somebody standing behind me that will take out the whole world.
Yeah.
Praise God.
Amen.
And you think Mom had a thought that day, I'm going to make Todd wait
No,
No.
before I help him.
no.
I'm gonna let him whoop him. That's how we think about God. We're gonna let the devil beat you up a little bit to teach you something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. He's standing there saying, devil, that's my boy. Go ahead, devil. Jesus brought it up this way. I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven.
Amen.
Amen.
He sure did.
And was anything slow about falling like lightning?
No.
No.
Lightning bolts quick. Praise you, Jesus.
Your problem, and I do say this prophetically, your problem turns on a dime. That's quick, that's fast, that's in a hurry. But there's a lot of us that do not have the dime for the turnaround. Can't turn on a dime if there ain't no dime there. And there's some of you that during the time of turnaround, we never understand it. Especially, we sort of know it if our life is turning around. But if it's your life making a turnaround, we usually don't see it. Because what happens when you turn around is I usually swing and get right in your way. I came today to tell you, I may be in your way, I may be too close, I may be in your space, and I may be aggravating, but just give me a moment. I'm going to get this thing turned around and point it in that other direction.
Amen.
Yes, Lord.
It's what everybody needs. Turn around.
Yeah.
Amen. I've been turning the wrong direction. You can be at the right place at the wrong time.
Yeah.
I always like the confession, I'm at the right place for the right time for the right reason, because you can be at the right place at the wrong time and you can be there for the wrong reason. See, my first good Walmart bonus as a manager. Bonuses for management at Walmart's fickle. Associates get their bonuses, I guess it still works that way every quarter. Well, salary management gets theirs once a year. The hourly associates can hit their bonus 3 quarters. And management can miss their whole bonus that last quarter. And I had that happen. I had a management bonus one time for the year that was $40-some. And the associates had got $300 bonuses twice. And I had one approach me. You greedy managers, getting all that bonus money. Now, he had got $600 earlier that year, and I got $42 for the whole year. And I did something I shouldn't do. He made me mad, and I shoved him my bonus check. I said, read that. $42. I said, you turn around and shut up. But one of my first times getting a good bonus. Almost $15,000 in one paycheck. My buddy Philip that fished with me. He's been there longer than me. He got almost $18,000. We're going to Bass Pro. We got $28,000 cash going to Bass Pro on a 10-day vacation. I went in there like a king. I like Stanley wedge spinnerbaits with gold blades. I raked what they had on the peg in my buggy, and I found an associate. I said, you got any more of these? He said, yeah. How many you want? I said, all of them. He turned around and he said, sir, I may have a pallet of them back there. I said, you all got jacks? Yeah. I walked out there with 9 buggies full of stuff.
Wow.
I told Philip, the first thing you need to buy is minimum that $400 rain suit, but if I was you, you need to get the $600 one. Now, Philip's new to fishing. He's wanting me to tell him to buy special spinnerbaits and crankbaits and hooks and line, what rod and reels he needs. He done give his family $7,000, $8,000, so they don't care what he does now. They happy. And I'm telling him buy a rain suit. Well, he don't. He said, do you like these crankbaits, these hooks? And Philip had 7 or 8 buggies of baits. Well, we get to Norris Lake that next morning, it's 17 below zero, and Philip don't have cold weather gear. I rode to my first spot, and his breechy leg was froze to the boat seat. And you know what? My $600 rain suit, I don't even know it's cold. Philip said, I'm froze to the side of the boat. I said, I told you, the first thing you need to buy.
Yeah.
Well, that next day, he went in there and he said, I want the best rain suit you all got for a big man. My buddy says they're $600, but I don't care. Give me something. That was an exciting trip. 2 redneck boys never had money. Got extra money. I'm so excited about that trip. But we stay in 10 days. And even though we're going to Bass Pro, I'm thinking every bait, hook, lure I might possibly need for 10 days. Don't care to buy them, but I don't want to get at the lake and not have them. So I had a Chevy Tahoe, and I load it down. Me and him's got to work one short shift that next day, and then we're going to Tennessee. I'm excited. I didn't even think about what time I'm going to eat the food. I've never been able to afford this time. Well, I get my truck loaded, and it starts off odd. Scotty's going to come to me this midweek, and I should have known. I'm talking to Scotty on the phone to get my truck loaded, and all of a sudden I'm out of breath, and Scotty says, "What are you so out of breath for?" And I almost tell him, "I packed this Tahoe so full I can't find my phone." Yes, I unload that Tahoe on the ground while I'm talking to Scotty on the phone, and I'm just about ready to cuss. And if it was just a normal preacher, I'd probably cussed. I was that carnal mad, and I about tell him, "I'm looking for my phone." And I realized, oh. So I'm loading my truck back up again. Hang up with Scotty. I gotta be in there the next morning at 8. Our store manager loved to let us fish. Greg would even give me and Philip the same vacation. He's gonna let us work 8 till noon, 4-hour shift. I go in, I sit in the chair, I fall asleep, I wake up, it's 7:30. I'm late for work. I've got a boat fastened to my Tahoe, 10 days worth of stuff in it. I'm ready to cuss again. I don't. Now don't look down on me. I'm just honest. I'm resisting cussing. You resist things too.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I didn't say I was cussing, but I wanted to. Greg's letting me work a 4-hour shift, and now I'm going to be late. Couldn't find my phone last night while I was talking on it. Got all this money. I drive to Cardinal Chevrolet, pulling my boat, 10 days worth of stuff, and I look. It ain't getting daylight, it's getting dark. You know what I did? I had fell asleep that evening. It wasn't 7, and I'd only slept about 20 minutes and woke up. It's 7:30 at night. I think it's morning time. I pulled a boat almost to the Hazard Walmart at 8 o'clock at night. Yeah, the sun ain't coming out, it's going down. I'm glad I didn't call Philip and tell him my place. He would have got up too and put his braces on and rushed to work. I had to have a turnaround.
Yeah.
It didn't do me no good to go to Walmart 12 to 24 hours early.
No.
I came today to tell the body of Christ. It's turnaround time.
Hallelujah.
If you're waiting, when God shows up, why wait?
That's right.
Now go back to Malachi. I'm still in the series, Faith for Money. I'm preaching the thought, everything. Your thing, my thing, his thing, her thing, their thing, everything turns on a dime. Just like me telling Scotty, You're gonna love that nitro. She turns on the dime. As you can figure out, what I'm talking about is the tithe.
Amen.
Yep.
Yeah.
You wanna turn around?
That's right.
Take a dime of every dollar you make.
Yeah.
And your situation will turn
Yeah. Amen.
on that dime.
Yes.
Yeah. That's really good.
Yes. Yes.
Malachi, Mahalachi. It's the book before Matthew.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard it preached all of them. I've heard an old timer call it Malachi.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't correct him because I really don't know if Malachi's
Nobody
right or
does.
Malachi's right. But it's right before Matthew. Chapter 3, verse 7. Even from the days of your fathers are ye gone away from my ordinances and not kept them. Return unto me, and I will return unto you, saith the Lord of hosts. But you said, wherein shall we return? Will a man rob God? Yet you have robbed me. But you say, wherein have we robbed thee? In tithes and offerings. There's going to be a lot of people get to heaven or to the judgment that never on earth stole anything from a human being.
Yeah.
That when they stand before God,
Yeah.
they are a thief and a robber.
Yeah.
And they're going to be saying, Lord, you remember that time I found that billfold? I took it and I worked hard to get, I accidentally picked up that watch one day and got to talking, and I've never stole from anybody. Now he said tithes and offering. What is a tithe? It's one dime of everything that comes into your life, every dollar that comes into your life. You want to know why God's acting like an unjust judge? Why he's slow to show up? Because everything he does turns on that dime.
That's good. That's very good. Really good.
Gets even better. All this stuff we've heard about it for so long, you've robbed me. He said, you're cursed with a curse. Now, I don't know if you understand that, but that's pretty redneck. Being cursed is bad enough, but when he explains it to, you are cursed with a curse, it amplifies it. Even this whole nation. Bring ye all the tithes into the storehouse. Now this is where I'm going to differ from most people you ever heard preached. Pastors preach the tithe out of fear. Come on, they usually when they're preaching that message, it's because finances are bad.
Yeah.
Or they owe something, and they're trying to get you to give. I don't play that. Finances ain't never bad here. We give it away about every month. And if you look at our ending balance the next month, what we give away is pretty much back in there again. But preachers preach it to scare you into getting their money. Or getting it into their church. They'll preach that the local church is the storehouse. Well, that's true. I ain't on the storehouse. come on, it takes a lot for a pastor to tell you this ain't the only storehouse.
That's right.
What is a storehouse? Well, that ain't that deep. We make things too hard. That's an old barn where once you learned how to create provision, that you stack that provision up in case a bad time ever comes. It's where you store provision. That's a storehouse. Come on, you don't throw your provision in the yard.
That's right.
So, Brother Todd, what is a storehouse? Where do you get your provision from? If there's a ministry that don't have a church, that ain't a pastor, that has taught you how to obtain and store provision, your tithe can go there. This is a pastor saying. Because I ain't afraid. Your giving ain't our source anyway. But there's some pastors out there that would tell you if you tithe to a ministry other than their church or their ministry that you're wrong. I'm not going to tell you that. If that ministry has provided you with provision, you can give your tithe to them. You put it in the storehouse. And then it says this. There'll be meat in mine house. And then God gets cocky and says, prove me now herewith. God is so much believing in that tithe and in that offering that He's daring you. Go ahead and do it. Prove it.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
I'm not only going to put meat in your house, but prove me.
Yeah. Amen.
Everybody else is food. Chill in.
And then He says this. Prove me herewith, saith the Lord of hosts, if I will not open you the windows of heaven and pour you out a blessing that there shall not be room enough to receive it.
Amen.
That's right.
Ain't that a turnaround?
Yeah.
First off, if the windows of heaven would just open over me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
To where I can look out into the heavens through that window, and the heavens are looking in on me, that I feel the breeze that's blowing in heaven when I open that window, and the sunshine that's shining in heaven. That window gives me access to experience what's going on in the yard.
Yeah.
That's a turnaround. If your house and home is a mess, your life is a mess, you can turn it on a dime
That's right.
Amen.
Yes,
That's good.
yes.
to where you're not experiencing that mess,
Yeah.
but that window's open.
Yeah.
What's in the yard of heaven?
Yes.
Yeah.
Praise God.
Yes.
Everything turns on that dime.
Amen.
But we miss what this is saying. I'm making sure I can preach it. I've had this revelation 15 years, never preached it. Prove me now herewith, saith the Lord of hosts, if I will not open you the windows of heaven and pour you out. Pour you out. Pour you out. Not pour out to you.
That's right.
Not pour out for you, although that's how we preached it.
Yeah.
Amen.
If you've turned it around on a dime, God's intention is He is going to pour you out into the earth, and it's going to be a blessing that there is not room enough to contain.
Amen.
Amen.
Pour you out a blessing. And I came today to tell you that if you get it turned around, the whole earth ain't going to be able to contain you. Oh, I want to be so blessed. They can't do nothing with me. You put me in the jails and everybody in there prospers. You put me in the hospital and everybody in there turns around.
Yes, Lord.
Hallelujah.
Amen.
Thank you, Jesus.
Pour you out.
Oh, yes.
I know that's a play on words, but
Oh, you don't like
I'm your pastor and I'm the one you're listening to. You need to receive that.
That's right.
You need to start praying, God.
Yeah.
First off, here's my dime, Lord.
Yeah.
You gave me a whole dollar, Lord, and all you wanted of it was this dime, and I'm expecting my whole life to turn on this dime.
Yeah.
Yes. Amen.
Yeah. Thank you, Jesus.
And you're going to pour me out.
Yes. Thank you for your spirit, Lord. Thank you, Jesus, for your word, Lord.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for your word, Jesus. Thank you, Lord.
Pour you out a blessing that there not be room enough to receive it, and then this part. I, not you.
Right. But no, right.
See, God's real cocky in these verses. First off, He's telling you that if I give you $1 and you kept that dime, you are a thief and a robber.
Yeah. Amen.
He said,
But then He said, give me my dime.
Yeah.
Prove me.
Yeah.
Prove it!
Yeah. Amen.
It's the only thing that God kind of dares you to do.
Yeah. Amen.
Turn this thing on a dime.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm thankful to you.
Pour you out. There ain't going to be room enough to handle the outpouring. But then He says, I will rebuke the devourer.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
What is that? That's the turnaround.
Yeah.
Maybe you give a thing to try to-
Them 5 boys, they thought pretty good that they going to fight me. Now, they knew I was rough. They knew a few of them going to get hurt, but they felt like if we've got 5, we can handle it. Till my mom, with her stick in 38, rebuked
The devourer.
the devourer.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shoulder them. Right. Let's look on.
And we've got so into spiritual warfare. That we think we got to do it. I've been to conferences to where they taught us how to take the city.
Yeah.
And it was all about us challenging the devil. I figured out that takes a pot. There's a quick way. I can turn it on a dime. I don't got to do nothing but that dime.
Yeah. Amen. Yeah.
Those 5 of them shows up to slay me.
Yeah.
I've got my dime right. I proved him.
Amen.
Yeah, he's fair.
Yeah.
The windows of heaven are open,
Yeah.
and when those devourers come to get me,
Yeah.
they get rebuked.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah. Amen.
It's good. Amen.
Thank you,
I
Lord.
want you to know God's better at rebuking
Amen.
than our Take the City conferences.
Yeah, praise the Lord.
Yeah.
You got that right, Pastor. Praise you, Jesus.
Are you against spiritual warfare? No. I'm on effective warfare.
Amen.
I saw this spiritual warfare stuff done and done and done and done and done. Nobody's life's changed.
Amen.
My heart in this church is I want changed lives.
Yeah.
I want you to be a better person because you came here.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know how to do it. No matter what you're facing, no matter how hard the climb, no matter how deep the tears. When I've had a rough year,
Amen.
buried my all-time fishing hero, Hubert Gent, my uncle. Went all the way to Tennessee to preach his funeral. He taught me fishing was a skill set, not luck. I preached his funeral on God always seems to choose fishermen. My Uncle Adam passed away. I preached, God chooses a few good men. We buried my Uncle Bill 1 week before my dad. In between Adam and Bill, Adam's daughter, my cousin, died. Then Bill dies, then Dad dies, my cousin David dies. Well, that's a lot of death.
That is, that is.
Then my Uncle Butch. Have you seen me slow down? You need to go back and watch if you haven't. I preached one of the greatest revelations over my daddy's casket that I've ever preached called Sometimes Christmas is Not What You Expect.
Yeah.
Everything I faced, a dime,
Yeah.
has turned it around.
Thank you, Lord.
Amen.
I will rebuke the devourer for your sakes. That first story I preached was an unjust judge rebuking the devourer because that woman's going to aggravate him. But when Jesus talked about his Father rebuking devourers, he told us he will avenge you speedily.
Yes.
I will rebuke the devourer for your sakes. He shall not destroy the fruit of your ground.
Praise God.
Hallelujah.
No, can't do it.
He can't.
Sure can't.
This is God talking faith over your fight.
Yes.
Thank you,
Yes.
Jesus.
Yes. Thank you,
Thank you,
Lord.
Lord.
He can turn it on a dime.
Praise God.
Yes.
Amen.
Thank you, Jesus.
Your fruit ain't going to be destroyed. Your vine will not cast fruit before its time. And all nations shall call you blessed.
Praise
You shall be a delightsome land.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Amen.
Delight yourself in the
Good.
Lord. Praise God.
Hallelujah.
Thank you,
Lord.
Jesus.
Cost you a dime
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
have a
Thank you,
turnaround.
Jesus. Amen.
Yes. Thank you, Lord.
Praise your holy name, Jesus.
No, that's good. I'm going to prove myself to you. I'm going to be rebuking devourers. I'm going to be checking fruit on trees. I'm going to be checking fruit on vines. Your land is going to flourish. But then he gets back into verse 13. Your words
Yeah.
Thank you.
have been stout against me.
Amen.
Just throwing your dime in an offering bucket is not tithing. You tithe with your words.
Praise God.
It's one of the first things I told this church. Because we tithe not only as individuals,
Yeah.
but we tithe as a church.
Yeah.
You all was there. One of the first things I said,
Yeah.
if you ain't using your mouth, you ain't tithing.
Yeah.
I want y'all talking, the ones that does the money here, over this. He said, after all that rigmarole about giving the dime, he tells you, Your words has been stabbed against me.
Yeah.
So what are we supposed to be saying? We're supposed to be throwing that dime in there and saying, now that I have done this, and now in this church you should be saying this, my life's going to turn around on that dime. Heaven's going to be open over me.
Yes.
My fruit is going to be full and flourishing. It's not going to come up early. My land is going to be plenteous. And any devourers that are in my life, I'm not even going to talk to you. God's going to rebuke you.
Amen.
Yes, amen.
The Lord rebuke thee.
If you say that,
Amen.
you just time.
Yeah.
Praise God.
Hallelujah.
Never give an offering without words.
Yeah.
Amen.
Never. Don't do it. All you're doing is throwing money in a bucket. Never give an offering without words. Never receive one. Always tell people thank you.
Yes.
And if you can, speak the word over them.
Yeah.
Yes.
If they gave you money,
Yes.
you need to rebuke the devourer off of their life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bless him.
That's right.
Lord, she gave to me. And she does.
Yeah.
One of the best givers in my life. I was on my way last month to pay an electric bill that I did not have. But I'm in faith. I feel like God has told me, go pay it. I don't have it. I've got my check broke. No money in there. I almost get to the place and my phone rang. And this girl put the exact amount of money in there.
Amen.
You wanna know what happened? I had put my dimes in.
Yeah.
And God turned that situation around on that dime.
Yes.
God is faithful. Amen. He
But I
promised.
don't just take her money.
Right. You turn around and give thanks.
She came from, she don't know this, but, and all of you here, everybody in this room gives to me. I'm just using her
Right.
to bless her. She can't go under now.
Amen.
I don't care how desperate, because I know her life. She's at Walmart. These days you feel like this, she probably don't feel this bad, but these moments, I felt like causing a scene. Preacher, I got buddies that will tell you that there's going to be a day that Todd pulls off naked and walks out of there going to the customers. Can I help you, sir? Mary, stitch a clothes on. Oh, I wanted to freak everybody out that bad. But I'm not going to let her fail. Every day I pray.
Yeah.
I'm rebuking the devourers in their life.
Yeah.
Because she's given them.
Yeah.
Praise God. Thank you, Jesus.
You think if I'm that sensitive about it, that God,
That's right.
He sees it.
well, he ain't never wanted to pull off naked and walk out of Walmart and tell you that. That would have been offensive. Sir, do you need any help with your hand?
Yeah. Yeah.
But if I'm that motivated
Yeah.
to fight her fights,
Yeah.
and church, you really don't know, as a church, what I do in that area, what my mom does now. If you're here and stay here, I'm not letting you fail.
Amen.
God's better at that than me.
Yeah. Yeah. Amen.
No matter what you face, no matter how you feel, no matter how dark it is, how much you toss and turn at night, The negative papers you've gotten in the mail, the negative reports you've heard in your ears. I came today with a prophetic word to tell you that you can turn this thing
Lord.
on a dime. Everybody stand. If you are out there and you partner me and you want one of these cards with a dime on it, it's not magical. I'm not one of them preachers selling trinkets. I do believe in prayer cloths because it's in the Bible.
Yeah.
And I do believe in doing crazy things as acts of faith.
Yes.
God said He takes foolish things and confounds the wise. But that's not what this is.
Right.
This is a reminder that every time you see it,
Yep.
you'll remember the day Brother Todd told you, everything turns on a dime. If you want one, and I'm specifically talking partners, if you don't give into my ministry, I'm not doing it for everybody. But if you give to me and you want one of these, tell me, and I'll write some stuff on it for you, and I'll mark it. This month is prayer cloth month. If you want a prayer cloth, message me. Message me if you want one of these little dime doodads. Everybody say this: I am a tither.
I am a tither.
Everything
Everything
I face
I face
turns
turns
on a dime.
On the line.
The devourer is rebuked
The devourer is rebuked
by the greatest rebuker.
by the greatest rebuker.
The windows of heaven are open,
The windows of heaven are open,
and I have access to the yard.
and I have access to the yard.
My fruit grows full.
My fruit grows full.
My vine does not come at a wrong time.
My vine does not come at the wrong time.
We will be known among the nations.
We will be known in the nations.
My words
My words
are not
are not
stout
stout
against God.
against God.
In Jesus' name,
In Jesus' name.
amen and amen.
Amen.
Oh, one announcement. This Friday night, is this the 22nd?
Yeah.
Brother Joe Isaacs is on vacation and had some free time, and them boys' time is valuable. They're hard to get it. He will be here Friday night to teach our Friday night faith fire. Thank you.